Welcome to part 2 on the etymology of timing and coincidence. So let's start with time. T-I, me. T, as I have suggested, is a symbolic representation of your higher self, you, the I, at your highest level. That is followed up by the I, the individualized. Notice it's individual. It's in and it's divided among many. It is the source of everything, experience what it has created. Be it seen from a perspective of being a biocomputer, a matrix, or whatever label you wish to apply to it. But you apply those things. You supply the app. Or is that just coincidence that you have apps on phones? Phones are said to radiate out an energy, as it were. Well, what do these avatars do? So, just to digress on a little side note, because it's also going to give a different perspective on a historically often spoken about event. I refer to the Battle of the Bulge, the Ardennes offensive, Hitler's last gamble in the West, as it's sometimes called. It is also a film called The Battle of the Bulge. It's Hitler's, right, if we can cut off the Allies who've now landed in France and on the very edges of Western Europe, if you can cut them in half and cut off the port of Rotterdam and disrupt their supply of an infrastructure to keep the war going, you throw everything into the West, all your resources. And what is actually shown in this, if we take the perspective of you're in, say, a Waffen-SS division, you have state-of-the-art Tiger II tanks. But if we consider the tank like the avatar, the physical body, that's all very well and good, but that tank needs fuel. It also needs air support, because a tank can be a sitting duck to airstrikes. You need that air superiority. Now consider this in the elemental terms of air superiority and the earthy elements, the slow-moving tank, which can be immobilized and disempowered, just like these physical avatars can be disempowered when there is air superiority coming from what would appear to be an opposite force. Now, where is this air force coming from? I would suggest you're not looking for military aircraft, because again, be careful not to compartmentalize anything that's said. So the air superiority is the metaphysical. It's what you cannot see, it is what you cannot touch. It is the real magic. But again, the word magic, how that is compartmentalized and dismissed as pulling a rabbit out of a hat, for example, or the 3 cups and the stone, that type of thing. They're just conjuring tricks, fooling the eyes into, they're just illusions. That's not real magic. The real magic is the interaction between this physical reality, like the seed pods, showing me how they germinate a new tree. Magical moments, the real news, the real events that only happen in the moments that you may be the only one that witnesses, because it's not one size fits all with these things. So the word coincidence, many people will dismiss it and say, oh, that is mere coincidence. I would say, yes, that is absolutely correct. The fundamental difference, and it is funding a mentality, is your perception of the words and how they are pronounced, the actual spell. So a mere is Maya. It's the reflection, the opposite of the I am. The Maya is the illusion. So yes, it is a mere coincidence, because it is appearing to be just timing of things that seem to make no sense. So it's dismissed. And what you would class as, or perceive, and is generally accepted as a non-playing character, an NPC, basically an empty physical avatar that has no spirit or soul inside it, who's very much got this focus of if you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. But at what point, how many coincidences do you see before you start saying to yourself, hold on a minute, this is no coincidence. There's more to this. So there's one meaning of the word coincidence, the often accepted dismissive, negative polarity to that one. From that, by extension, you have the coin side dance. That is played out in those that sell their soul and chase the illusion of the material. They play the coin side dance. They're not trying to enhance their spirit, to go through experiences. They've opted to go down the materialist route and the physical wealth route. So that's the coin side dance. But now if we break it down further, we'll break that as the first syllable. Co implies two. I would suggest that is your higher and lower self. It's in. Now, it's inside dense. Inside is dense. It's that heavy negative feeling. It's your higher self going, oh dear. The signs were given, but they didn't observe. They had the eyes to see, but they didn't see what was being presented. They didn't hear what was being shown to them. The occurrence, the ocular. You don't see it inside the things that are being presented, not being observant. That's what we're here to be. We're here to observe, to learn and to grow. So they're incidents as well. They're coincidents. It's between higher and lower self. They're incidents, they're events, they're happenings that would appear to have no physical connection, that make no sense to the mind that is very much in the focus of this solid physical reality. But they are incidents, and they coincide. When you feel it, you can heal it. So how about that for different meanings of the word? Now, are they dense? Are they prodding you? Are they trying you to look in a direction? And it comes back full circle again, the time loop. Because we're back to timing with these things. The incidents, the events. The world is a stage. These are all scripts being offered to you, be it hearing a conversation, hearing something that may trigger you, hearing something that you may agree with, interaction with others. They're all things that you as a singular I have created to experience simultaneously. That is the beauty of this realm. We're all individual expressions. It's all inside. It is all connected. The physical avatars, the tank, the body, the embodiment that you're in. Going back to that Ardennes offensive again, so a state-of-the-art tank, it's like going down the gym every day and having this really healthy body, but what about inside? What about the substance, the inner, the real I within the me? The me, incidentally, is really just the magnetism from the heart, the dielectric and the magnetism and the electric, the thoughts, the current see, what you currently see, what you currently hear. I could go off on so many tangents with this. So yes, one more thing I wanted to announce. There is going to be a second YouTube channel. For those of you that do not know, next year is 2024. That part you probably do know, but it's the 200th anniversary of the birth of the composer Anton Bruckner. A character and the music, the artistry that I feel very, very passionate about. And it's to give a listener's rather than a musicologist's perspective in what I hear, what I interpret, the interactiveness, the esoteric, the metaphysical, and look at the other Bruckner, as I'm going to call it. Not so much the composer of the symphonies, but exploring, for example, the 40, they're categorized as secular choral, so it could be a solo voice and a piano, it could be a chorus with orchestra and organ in one particular case. But they're very revealing. They reveal far more about Bruckner, and in turn, I maintain that an artist is the medium of source before it gets the ID attached to the EA. That thought, that seed, where does it really come from? Where is it being channeled from, and how is it being expressed? And I feel, and it certainly communicates to me, only last night on the radio, there was Bruckner's 7th Symphony. And I've explained this one on a video before, but basically you've got the death of Wagner seen as a premonition by Bruckner, and then getting the news, and this comes across in the music. Bruckner idolized and looked up to Wagner and referred to him as master. And of course Wagner dies. So Bruckner now has to face a new day. So the transition between the music, which is very solemn, in that second movement of the 7th Symphony, and then what is called the scherzo movement, the third movement. It's reminiscent of a cockerel. It's indicating a new day, a new start. It's very much like this realm, this figure of 8 loop. It's a series of time loops. But there comes a time where you have to go through, because nothing in this realm lasts forever. It is all finite in its physical form. But just like the music, it lives on through musicians, through living artists. And it is open to all kinds of interpretations by different conductors, and it brings out different flavours, different tones. It may even strike a chord in you. Thank you, Lana, for that. It's just listen very carefully to the words, but just look at the word coincidence. Where would you put the syllables in it to know how to say it? You'll notice with English, there's no umlauts, there's no accents, there's no clues on whether to pronounce the I as an I or as an I, as in co-in or coin. Look at that. You've got 3 different ways of pronouncing that letter I, depending on whether it's co-in or the I for in, or you've got the I, or you've got the, what was the other one? I just said, train of thought has gone. But I think you get the picture with this anyway. And I hope that has been something of a revelation, that not just about the word coincidence, that pretty much any word you look at, just say it over and over. Repeat it in your mind. You don't have to say it out loud, but if you repeat it in your mind and have a play with it. We're here to play, we're here to enjoy. That was the original intention. We're here to go through experiences, but things have gone a little bit out of balance. We need to put the H, the human, back into it and bring the human back into balance. So we are like that level link between the 11. The 11 is a door. It's the Janus. It's looking both ways before you cross. Right, we're up to nearly 15 minutes. See, timing is everything, because we are subject to time, and if they're too long, they take an eternity. Or it seems like an eternity from a perception to upload of the videos. But it is what it is. It just is, or it's justice. Love to you all and have a beautiful, beautiful day.